Hey everybody, and welcome to AJS News. This is the second video, the all Cyberpunk video for this week.
Yeah, but first, an important word from our amazing sponsors.
Hey, what are you still doing here? I thought you had that Zoom blind date thing tonight.
I do, but Joe gave me this. He told me to tame my bush and trim the fuzz off my kiwis, so that's what I'm gonna try to do now.
Yeah, I thought it was weird for him to have me use his lawnmower 3.0 for this, but since it has 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, precision engineered ceramic blades for confident trimming, and it was designed for sensitive areas, there's no nicks, no cuts, and no nasty perforations, even on this delicate kiwi skin.
Wow, look at these.
Very nice.
They look good enough to eat.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly what he meant. I think he meant for you too.
Oh my god.
Good luck tonight, man.
Remember, guys, when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. And get 20% off right now with free shipping if you go to www.manscaped.com/AngryJoeShow. The coupon is automatically applied with that link. Treat yourself, guys. Don't cheat yourself.
Those kiwis were delicious.
It's very silky smooth. I saw my reflection. Did you guys notice that?
No,
Nice and polished.
I didn't
You
know.
polish them afterwards? That's
How
terrible.
Guys,
could you
click-
not? They're so smooth.
Click those links down below. Make yourself
Like
feel good,
mini
and you'll play
bowling
good.
balls.
It'll be great, guys, and you'll smell good too. All right, Manscaped's awesome. Let's get let's get right into the news, guys.
This is the fun video of the week because it's all Cyberpunk.
Oh my god!
So we started off with an apology video.
First, let me jump in first. So, y'all have to see Crow B. Cat's video on this. He came out of retirement essentially to have the final word. I thought we had the final word. No, this is fucking amazing. So you're a legend, and everybody needs to go out and see this video. It is damning. It is incredible. The difference between what was promised and what was given, and it is frankly angering, depressing, and really frames this how it truly is. So I highly recommend y'all go and check out that video.
Okay.
And now we will learn more about what the happened.
Yes. Well, first what happened was we got an apology. And so it was a short video released to YouTube and on Twitter that kind of went over from CD Projekt Red's perspective what they said went wrong. And some people like the apology video. I was not a big fan of it. I think that when someone is apologizing to you and they lie through omission, it doesn't come off as truly sincere.
You're right. I like the idea of the apology, but the actual content of it, you watch it again and you're like, wait a minute, did he just throw his QA division under the bus?
Yes.
You know, and he did it in a way where it's like, okay, we had great reviews on PC. Like, that is perfectly fine. Like, that version of the game was perfect. It was not.
Yeah,
you know?
it was still a huge mess.
So yeah, I think that there was too much sweeping under the rug kind of thing.
Yeah. So we'll go over a couple of his quotes. So he says, Cyberpunk 2077 is huge in scope. It features a multitude of custom objects, interacting systems, and mechanics. In the game, everything is not stretched out over flat terrain where we can make things less taxing hardware-wise, but condensed in one big city in a relatively loading-free environment. This problem is that very few things in the world are actually interactable. I mean, there's trash on the ground that's like
fake.
It's like fake stuff that's in there.
It's fucking fake. Watch that Crow Cat video. It's fucking fake. Not only were we running into that stuff ourselves with like the completely fake police
The only
system.
thing you can pick up is butt plugs.
Yeah.
$3,
But you can't
Alex.
fucking interact with the
Should've wore
goddamn
gloves.
city. You can't go around buying food. You can't go around fucking going into the various places. Everything is fucking locked. It's just fake.
It's a Hollywood stage.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of criticisms where people were saying, "Hey, look, they're owning up to their mistake," and I think that that's dangerous terminology. Not dangerous. It's terminology that shouldn't be using. This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is you left the roast in the oven too long and it's a little dry. This was a group of people at the board that knew the game was not done. They knew it.
Yeah.
Everyone if you had played the game at all,
poison,
they
rotisserie.
knew it was not done. It was premeditated. It was calculated.
Yeah.
They willfully put out a game that they knew was broken. And you know how we knew it was broken? Sony, the cheapest company of all time that doesn't do refunds, has a 100% refund policy, and you still cannot buy Cyberpunk
can't get it.
on PlayStation right now in the PlayStation Store
Yeah.
because it's that broken
Yeah.
still. And so the people
And
who are
not only that, but they
apologizing for it,
misled them.
yeah, it is still not purchasable on the PlayStation Store because it is still not ready on that platform. They're like, oh, it plays fine. No, it doesn't. You are full of shit.
It wasn't what they advertised. It was
Yeah.
a lie to so many systems in the game. It's a damn lie.
Yeah. And
So
so
it makes me even more mad. Like maybe I should have fucking rated that 1 point lower on both fucking versions. Because when you actually go through, because I didn't immerse myself in all of the marketing material for that game, Alex. If you watch Groovy Cat's video, there's so many more videos out there that says this is gonna be in the game, this is gonna be in the game, this is gonna be in the game. I would have put it in my review had I seen it. None of that shit is in the game.
Yeah.
None of it. Like we just put like customizing vehicles and shit. You can't customize vehicles. Go around spending your money on eating and interacting in the city. And there's one scene where you eat automatically with
Jackie.
with Jackie, and it's the grossest scene possible where the food, even on high-end PCs, looks
No,
just...
Takamura has one too.
Oh,
But
I
it's
didn't
like
use
you
it.
can't just go and
I know
it's
what
just-
you're
Jackie's
talking
like
about.
weird slurping up these tubes. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Oh,
like, this looks
yeah, at the
terrible.
beginning. That's at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the apology video goes on, and he starts talking about, it was their bad, pretty much. It's like we thought the game was in a state where we could get it playable by the time it could come out.
Yeah.
That was
And
not true either.
whether or not they felt that way it's not for me to decide, right? Maybe they truly did feel that way. I just don't. I think that those people are smart enough where there was enough people at CD Projekt Red saying
Bullshit!
it does not work. And so the apology just kind of rang hollow for me personally. Some people thought it was great, and they're like, "Oh, this is perfect." And now we know that they're going to fix everything because they apologized. And for me, I have the opposite opinion where I think this solidifies them in the same tier that all of the other AAA gamers are, right? They are the size of a AAA company. They are the largest game company in Europe, and they're finally starting to act like it, which isn't a good thing for us as consumers. They're finally starting to act like EA and Bethesda and Ubisoft, where they will release it in whatever state that they want. They'll apologize,
Fix it
and as
later.
long as they don't get nipped in the butt by that watchdog group in Poland, they'll probably get away with it because they made a ton of money, and they're going to continue to make a ton of money. And we'll just have to see what they do.
Yeah,
Later on.
that's a good point. That there's really no consequences as of yet. I mean, there's an
There's an opportunity. They could get sued, but I mean, that lawsuit.
10% or something. For
There probably should be
Watchdog thing?
consequences to really solidify to not only them but to other gaming companies that you can't do it like that.
Can't be falsely advertised. We'll have to see if the investment lawsuit, according to the current, the people who claim to be lawyers on the internet, they're saying that investment lawsuit is probably not going to go against CD Projekt Red. Now, the consumer protection group in Poland actually may do something about it, but unless they hit them with the maximum fine, I don't think it's going to matter to them too much. Again, in the apology video, we got the roadmap, this is something that was also kind of worrying.
It is.
And so the roadmap laid out what they're going to be doing. So we got a couple patches coming up, and then way off in the latter half of this
Next
year,
gen.
the next gen consoles will be getting a patch. And it looks like it's going to be in Q3 of this year. So
Yeah,
if you,
so we're not getting a PlayStation 4 version of the game till then?
Yeah, PlayStation
Do you think
5, yeah.
Sony, PlayStation 5. That's right, the PS5
yeah.
update. I was thinking that would be the time when Sony would put it back up on the store, but who knows? Who knows
Yeah.
when exactly they're going to make
Yeah,
their-
but there's a lot of people already just stopped playing it. So
yeah, I think
Well,
people,
when it comes...
they'll pick back up.
Yeah.
I think exactly right. Once on the older consoles, once they put out a patch saying, "Look, now we've solved the crashing
Yeah.
issues," they'll probably never fix the pop-in issues. Like the
Yeah.
pop-in's terrible, but
I think they will eventually. I
You
think
think
they will.
with enough time
there's,
they can
there's
optimize?
plenty of patches coming, but you're right in the sense there's things in there that you just can't fix. You would have to remake the game almost completely, or take a year redeveloping the game and then fix it later. And I don't know if they're
No.
going to do that.
Game of the Year edition.
We'll have to wait. Where's the roadmap? We'll have to wait because I want to restream it with. I tried my best to wait as long as I could to try to give the game some extra time, but no, the time is up. I guess maybe in February or March, we should maybe try to restream it or something like that.
If it's ready, yeah, absolutely. I've got the roadmap pulled up. Is there something that you want to?
Yeah, well, like when is the last hot fix?
So we've got patch 1.1. So again, there's no actual times in here. We've got a thing that sometime in 2021. Towards the first part of the year, we're getting patch 1.1, shortly after patch 1.2, and then there's this gray bar of multiple updates and improvements. There's going to be a free DLC somewhere in there, and then a free next-gen console update, but that is towards the latter half of the year, so that's probably Q3 of this year.
Okay.
So patch 1.1, I imagine, is in the next couple weeks, and then 1.2 a couple weeks after that. I just don't think the technical specs of a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are sufficient to load the entire world and then pull that data.
I don't know about that. I mean, you watch Groby Cat's video, and he's got fucking Lego open world games that are doing shit right that Cyberpunk got wrong.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Saints Row, you know, from all those times. These are individual mechanics. It's unfair to compare them with that kind of thing, but it just goes to show you that you know, their inexperience, the incompetence, and maybe the way they went at development, coming at it from the top down instead of from the bottom up, you know, knowing exactly what they wanted to do and exactly where to approach it, and then lay the foundation for an open world RPG. But that's not what happened. It slowly morphs into just an action adventure, you know, and all this other stuff, and then these systems, by the time they were going to release the game, it's not ready. I don't know. Just fucking program the police to show up out of nowhere.
Spawn inside the walls.
Bam, you're dead.
Yeah.
Terrible.
All
I
right,
don't know
well,
what the fuck happened, man.
Well, if you want some insight into what happened, this weekend we got the Jason Schreier expose. Now, if you are not familiar with Jason Schreier, he's done a lot of investigative journalism. He did the Anthem one. Now, Anthem one was kind of eye-opening, right? It really shed some light on this. And this one is significantly smaller in scope. I mean, this is stuff that this is confirmation of what we already knew, and so it was nice to see. So Jason Schreier went out. He spoke to 20 developers, some former.
On the actual, okay.
He interviews more than 20 current and former CD Projekt staff, most of whom requested anonymity.
Right.
Anonymity. So the reason that they did, so they don't want to he specifically says they don't want to get fired.
Right.
And it makes a lot of sense.
They'll get fired if they figure it out.
Yeah. And so he went out and he talked to these people just about everything. And so we got information about the crunch. It was just as bad as everyone thought, but we knew it was that bad because we had reports throughout the last 4 years about crunch there. People working 13 hours, feeling like it wasn't enough, 6 days a week. People say, you know,
which apparently was the entire development then. It started in 2016, according.
It's like, oh, you don't want to work 13 hours today because your kid's birthday today? Well, I'm going to make him work your hours then. And it's like, oh, well, now I feel guilty about it. I guess I don't get to see little Timmy on his birthday and stuff like that. And so the accuracy and the extent to this is always up in the air, but within the number of reports that we've got over the last 4 years, it's pretty clear that there was this crunch culture to fix this game.
Yeah, there definitely was.
Especially with the last year of development, which actually wasn't actually planned because the game was supposed to
actually refused to allow people to celebrate birthdays. I don't know.
No, that wasn't. But the game was originally supposed to come out at the beginning of this year, and even people at CD Projekt Red said that we don't think that that's going to happen. They were sharing the same memes that the whole internet was, where it's just like, well, I guess it's going to get delayed again. But they had more insight, saying like, look, we know what the state of the game is in, and you're saying this is coming out in 2 months. Like, are you out of your mind? Like, there is no way.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, like there's no way
memes are bad. Just wait.
Yeah, there's no way that was going to work, and so it was going to get delayed and delayed and delayed. And so in his article, he goes on about one of the reasons that it got to that point is they were kind of developing the engine at the same time they're developing the game. And so he likened it to, you know, a train going down the tracks and you're laying the tracks down and hoping that, you know, one doesn't catch up.
Yeah.
And if it ever does, you're stopping all of these other processes. And so mismanagement and delays and this whole...
They needed some help from the outside on a big project.
And so they had they actually almost doubled their employees to get this thing done. But they had this attitude. Apparently, they had this attitude where it's like, no, we've done it before. We'll do it again. We've done it before. We've done it again. We're experts. We're going to do all this stuff.
Refusing that kind of help.
And you know, positive mental attitude's really important, but also having someone who's realistic about things, so that you're not, you know, overselling and under-delivering and overworking and all these other things is also really important. It sounded like they didn't have someone there saying, look, we need to slow down. We need to reevaluate throughout this entire process. Now, he goes on to say that the game has only been in development about 4 years or so, because all of the work before that, the work that when you were
there. I alluded to, I was like, hey, you announced the game. That's work. You're starting work.
Yeah, so they said they had restarted the process. So a new head came in, threw up everything else, saying this is what we're doing from here on out. That's rumored to be that's where Keanu agreed to work on it, and so all of the storyboarding, all the story writing, all the other stuff just kind of got thrown out because they're like, this is the star of the game. This is how we're going to make this work. And then it starts going into some of the failures once it did come out. I mean, it performed so poorly that Sony Corp removed the game from the PlayStation Store and offered refunds, which, again, if you follow any of our news, Sony does not offer refunds. They are one of the worst as far as refunds go. And so then we start talking about how stretching development staff and then the engine too far. So an audio programmer for CD Projekt Red said one of his colleagues asked during a meeting how the company thought it would be able to pull off a technically more challenging project in the same time frame as The Witcher, and someone just simply answered, "We'll figure it out along the way." And it's like that is the kind of
this is
like
the
we're
result.
in trouble.
This is the result. It sounds like they, like I said in my video, you bit off more than you can chew. They bit off way more than they can chew, and it needed to start smaller, maybe not be so ambitious the first time out on the gate, and then they make Cyber 2077 as the sequel, right? Kind of thing. And when all the foundations are laid, because I feel like if they were to start another 4 years of development on a Cyberpunk game, it would be, kind of what they were wanting.
Yeah, they've learned in this point. I mean, the issue is not that they bit off. I mean, for me, the issue wasn't that they bit off more than they could chew. Is that they refused to acknowledge it, and they refused to spend the time chewing. And so they're like, we bit off way more than we could chew, but we're releasing it anyway. It's like, but you didn't. But you didn't chew it.
Yeah.
Like, at least take it. Like, not only did you make the mistake, but you refused to acknowledge the mistake, and then you put it out anyway.
Yeah.
And
but the investors and everybody, it's been 7 years. They're like, put this shit out now.
Yeah, we need to hit that Christmas money. Now, the most contentious part of the article is when he talks about the demo at E3, and so. They put out in 2018. It showed the main character embarking on a mission, giving players a grand tour of the seedy, crime-ridden Night City. Fans and journalists were wowed by the ambition and scale.
I went there. I saw it personally, and by the end, they wanted to record a video of me talking about it so they can send it to a few of their staff at home to kind of get some feedback. And so I recorded a video. And I just remember seeing that demo was so perfect. There was just a small thought. It's like, was that shit fake? Like it had to have, at least there was systems laid there, that will show up in the game. But just in the back of my head, it felt like too good. It felt too amazing, and I guess that is what it was. It was too good. It was too amazing.
Yeah.
The chase sequences that you see and the fast action there and the world filled with so many different individual people running on their own schedules and NPCs with daily lives, and it was all fake.
Well, fake is the word that's causing people including people at CD Projekt Red, to be upset about it, right? And so you are correct that all of that stuff wasn't real. But fake is a word that we'll get to later.
Illusions,
it's
Michael.
an illusion, but we'll get there. And
what else do you want me to call? No, you don't get the right to tell me.
I'm not. Look, it's not me.
I'm
not me.
Word
I'm saying,
I can call that shit.
I'm reporting the news.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just reporting
Let's
the news.
keep going.
Okay, so the developers said they felt like the demo was a waste of months that should have been gone towards the game, because the game, it was not a slice of the game. It was something that they had
worked on
specifically tailored.
So that's true, but it's also false, because they were unsure. From what I got from them and from what Tom talking with them, they were unsure. They were like, this is, the what do you think about the first person versus third person and stuff? They were legitimately needing feedback. And if we got literally nothing over those 7 years, and by that point it was already like fucking 4 years or 5, who knows how long it was already, but they needed something. So yes, it was divergent, and yes, it took some resources to do, but I think ultimately it was a good thing for them. them to know, okay, this is the direction we're going in. And then unfortunately, with the time that they had left, they couldn't execute it exactly to the E3 demo is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so they said that none of the underlying gameplay systems had been developed, and it was all standalone stuff. And so really what it was is they had specifically created one level completely isolated. It had nothing to do, I mean, it was the feel, the theme, the story, but as far as the mechanics go, it was all created specifically for that demo.
I want to see what I said in that video, because I was like, if it is like that, I think I even said, like, if it is that, then you guys have something amazing on your hands.
And so again, we start talking about some of the crunch, and then the crunch because of that development time. And so it's like for that demo, because they worked for months
on
just that demo
right.
for 2018, which is halfway through the development process. So if you look at the time frame when that thing was come out, it's like this is the time where you should have been working on everything else.
Right.
And so they created this thing.
Still higher level decisions, still trying to be made
for marketing
while
purposes,
at the
right?
same
PR
time.
purposes. And so they focus so much on this PR, focus so much on the marketing, and less on the gameplay. And they're like, look, this demo is more important than the actual game, so we're going to pull you off that. We're going to work on this thing that'll determine the direction that we go, but you should have been working on the damn game itself for those months. I wish that those months had been spent polishing instead of anything else. And so that's pretty much everything else is just kind of confirming what we had thought, that it was a culture of crunch. That's kind of Jason Schreier.
Did they
thing.
respond to? Didn't they respond?
They respond,
okay,
yeah. So that's the next thing we'll talk about is someone at CD Projekt Red has responded to the article. But again, this one is.
They're scrappy. They're like, hey, no, that's not.
Well, you put out your review, and then we immediately got an apology like the next day, right? That can't be a coincidence, right? Right?
I don't know,
right? So that was the big thing from Jason Schreier. It wasn't as hard hitting as some of the Anthem one, but the Anthem one was so
I was
juicy.
hoping it would be as juicy as the Anthem one to figure it out, and whether that be because maybe the people on the front lines hadn't truly no idea what was going on, and like they're doing the best with the information they were getting from management and the directions that were changing in management, and then finally somebody put their foot down and said this is the direction we're going, and they just didn't have enough time at that point to do everything. So then they dropped some features, and they said they were dropping features, and then they dropped more features. They didn't say they were dropping those features, and then they didn't show us about the consoles, and then they kind of hid about things. Oh yeah, and then this is what happened.
Yeah, but instead it was just, hey, they couldn't
and
figure
we'll
it out
fix it, and
time.
we're sorry.
Yeah, it turns out that they just couldn't do it in time. That's ultimately what it was. It's just there's no controversy here. There's no we restarted the process. No one came in at the last minute to change everything. It's just we didn't know how to finish.
Okay, so there needs to be consequences. I think that there already is consequences. I believed in their stock fall, but then has it gone back up? We need to monitor.
It's gone up
that.
6%.
Okay, then they haven't recovered fully, but there needs to be consequences. Number one, and then number two. I know it's tough to listen to, but I do think in the future, I'm already making the prediction that they're going to move on from it, and they'll fix some things, but it'll never be fixed to the position that we would want it to be fixed.
Oh, yeah.
And then we might see an additional game in the Cyberpunk universe, whether that's the multiplayer component or whether they just start development on another one.
More DLCs or something.
More DLCs or something like that. And then it gets good like a No Man's Sky situation. But eventually, I know it's very, very early for me to say this, and you guys might think, no, you shouldn't be thinking about that, but all the systems I think now are laid in place, and if they were to do another game within the Cyberpunk universe, that's the one that I would be excited about.
Yeah.
So it's like a battered wife syndrome kind of, where I'm saying, well, the next one is going to be good, but
They'll change.
But at the same time, if you actually look at the development, what's going on, they were simultaneously developing a brand new engine and trying to work on spinning so many different plates at once with people that have never.
I didn't know it was spinning plates. I was like, what are you doing? You were like this, and I was like, what is this?
The tassels.
Yeah.
And a lot of those plates broke.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you entirely. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to rush out and pre-order every one of their games from now on, but I think that now that they've laid the groundwork at the cost of our consumer confidence in them.
You should know where they're going in theory.
Yeah, I mean, I want them to succeed because they're a company that I really like. I'm going to continue to buy probably all of their games. And so people are like, you just hate them. It's like, no, I love them. But I felt betrayed by someone that I probably shouldn't held up on that pedestal to begin with, and I got burned because I trusted a company, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any. Apparently, they have no loyalty to any of us because they'll put out unfinished garbage. So, all right, you want to hear their response?
They approved that. They approved it.
I would love to.
You're right. That was a piece of shit move. And the biggest piece of shit move was to like not let reviewers use their own review footage.
Oh, yeah, we should have known immediately.
I cannot believe that, man. Coming from that company, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Seriously, that was crossing the line for me.
All right. We got CD Projekt Red exec disputes. Cyberpunk 2077 demos were almost entirely fake. Not fake.
Illusions.
They weren't fake.
So Adam Badowski responds to the expose on development troubles behind Cyberpunk 2077. So he posted insight into the making of the game via Twitter following the Bloomberg report from Jason Schreier.
Yeah, well, you got to define what your definition of fake is.
Yes. He said, it's hard for a trade show game demo to not be a test version or a vertical slice 2 years before the game ships, but that doesn't mean it's fake. So, yes, it was something that had nothing. I don't know. You guys are arguing. I mean, I agree with you, but I mean,
that's a bullshit answer. That's bullshit marketing.
Of course.
Look, if you look, for example, if you say there's going to be fucking random chase sequences, when they said that during the chase sequence, like these different random events will appear sometime. I don't know about y'all, but that's not true. That doesn't fucking happen. And then also, the one chase sequence that does happen is fucking scripted. It doesn't matter what you do.
Someone in the comments
fucking
told me it's
van
not.
Slams into the goddamn fucking building. Alex, you know better.
I know. I love Rib in the. He's like, no, if you play on very hard, you can die in the car scene. It's like, or if you just sit in the car, they can't shoot you.
With the one programmed bullet that hits you right before the next mission. We tested that. You remember where it hits you with a bullet at the exact moment every fucking time.
Yeah, you always get shot with that exact same time. So he says games are not made in a linear fashion and start looking like the final product only a few months before launch. If you look at that demo now, it's different. Yes, but that's what the work in progress watermark's for. We told you that it was a work in progress, so that's on you. You didn't read the watermark, so it's your fault.
Yeah, no, it's not our fault.
No, it's your fault. That's what he says.
I know he's trying to point the finger, but that's just his reaction. He has to do that. That's his job. I mean, that's literally his job.
The statement that I highlighted is our final game looks and plays way better than what that demo ever was.
No, that's not true.
I was like, you played
that
it,
is
so.
Not fucking true.
Well, I highlighted. That's what
that
he
is
said.
a goddamn lie. I saw that
orange.
fucking.
It's
He
not.
played
It's
No,
not.
when
first
I
hand.
fucking played, when I saw that fucking demo, and when I fucking played, they were not the fucking same. They were nowhere in the realm. No, absolutely not. I'm putting my foot down, Joe. You know what? What's his name? Report to my office right now.
Adam Badowski.
Let's go.
We're gonna get
We're
there.
going. You're in trouble.
Principal's
You're in
office.
trouble.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
So a lot of his statements got the yellow highlight. That one got the orange highlight. It was like, ooh,
Yeah.
you lying? He adds that missing features are part of the creation process, with some dropped based on whether they work as
he's
well
right
as the final
on
product.
that. That's true. Yes, that's true.
Oh, absolutely. The only issue is when you tell people that they're going to be there and then they're not. Like you can, As for the old gen consoles, yes, it's another case.
And so in some way, I part of me, that 1%, because I know all the things that I told them after I saw that demo, I was like, guys, why don't you just release this demo to them? That's how fucking amazing it was. Like, I was like, is this legit? And they're like, yes. It was like, then you just need to release that demo to them. And guess what they did? They released the demo to them. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure it wasn't me. I'm sure a bunch of people were asking them to do that. But the response should have been like, well, no, we shouldn't do that because there are things in there that might not be in the final game, or they knew that was a complete side project where it was developed just specifically for that, and then we're going to hit that target, and they're going to try their best to hit that target. Then in that case, I wouldn't have fucking released that. I would have fucking, I wouldn't have been advocating for them to release that. But God, it's just,
Was it like
I can't believe it, man. It's like they watch my show.
Well, it's your
They've
fault.
seen this thing play out with other companies, and yet they go and they do the exact same fucking thing.
But
They
Joe,
knew
the final
of
game
all
looks
the
and
things
plays
to
way
avoid,
better than the
and
demo
they
was.
did it anyway.
Yeah, because they knew they knew they wouldn't get punished because no one ever gets punished. That's not how it works. Yeah. I mean,
they get that lawsuit in the
maybe.
Watch Dogs.
I mean, there is punishment there, but is it sufficient?
Is it actually gonna go through? Now they know it's bad, and this is how even in this where he's saying things that are like strictly they're untrue, right? He said some things that are not true, but
they're warped realities.
Even the old gen consoles situation is so bad. This is what he says. As for the old gen consoles, yes, that's another case, but we've owned up to that and are working super hard to eliminate bugs. He's not even willing to lie about the consoles because the situation on them is
so bad
that he won't even like make up fluff about it. He's just like, nah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're bad, but
should
that
maybe
just shows you
laugh.
that his first thing is lying too, because it's the same shit. It's just a console that can't fucking run the same shit that wasn't running, you know? So it's like, it did not hit that target,
That should have me
unfortunately.
laugh whenever you're like, you guys had faces?
Yeah.
My game didn't.
Look, there's a lot of times where there's no faces. Yeah, that's it. I really wanted to highlight the fact that this person.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
for
fake is the wrong word. You're like, you can't
No.
say that his entire Jason Schreier's entire title article is invalid because he used
said
the
fake.
word fake. And then he said, no, our game played.
What word do you think he wants us to use?
Not a
Missed
proper
the target.
representation.
Yeah.
It was not a proper representation.
Because
You
that's false
represented it that
advertising.
way.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
We never represented it in that way because we could get in trouble.
We
for-
missed our target is what
Yes.
is probably the closest
I don't like the word
say.
miss.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say they missed their target. He said, "Oh no, the target
Our
was
final game
we
looks
did even
and plays
better."
than what the demo ever was.
Report to my office now.
Yeah.
Now! That's like a teacher gives you a fucking F and then you go, and because you didn't do any fucking studying and you didn't even fill in half of the fucking ovals in your goddamn test fucking sheet, and then you come and the teacher gives you an F and you go, nah, I didn't get an F. I actually got an A+.
Yeah. Well, all you have to do is draw
I
a
got
line
an A.
straight down, and then an F becomes
I
an
got
A
an
real
A.
quick.
I got
Yeah.
I got an A. What are you going to do?
Yeah. No, so the game is actually really good because it got really good PC game reviews. So remember, that's the other excuse that gets thrown around.
Fuck
We got
off.
really good PC game reviews. It's like
How
you
much
got
did you pay him?
okay
Fuck off.
PC game reviews. Like
Yeah, and
Even-
that was embedded in some of the reviews. You're just gonna have fucking hype built into that. There are gonna be people,
None of us can
who
speak today.
puts 100 score, who puts 90s, puts 10s out of 10s, 9s out of 10s for fucking Cyberpunk because simply they're fucking hyped as shit, and they didn't bother to fucking play the whole fucking game before they put their fucking review out.
10 out of 10. I bought it.
The more you
you
fucking
play
play,
it? No.
the more that review that score goes down.
Yeah.
Those people, you know exactly how fucking long they played. And you give that fucking game a 100 or a 10 or a. Yeah. All right. Report to my office. How do I read these kids?
Oh man.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. So so that was the response, and we will just have to see if patch 1.1, that's supposed to be coming out in the next couple weeks, fixes some of the issues. I'm curious to see. I want to see when the patch is going to make consoles playable. When it's going to be playable enough that Sony will
when
say,
is Sony- yeah.
when is Sony going to say, okay, now it is in a state, because Sony, you know, they got hurt in this process too,
Yes.
right? They hate refunding people. They don't want to be seen as someone who's selling something and has to give up all that money back and all the other things. So Sony's going to be looking at it really closely. And I want to see when Sony says, look, you burned me before. I'm not letting you do it again. Show me that this game works. And they're going to have to do a lot to make Sony happy. And I think that's going to be a big day for them to see when that
This is
comes.
crazy. They just pull out a major title like that. But
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we'll see.
there's a lot of work ahead and for them, and they need to dig themselves out of the hole.
Yeah,
and
13 hours a day, 6 days a week.
That
it's
shit-
going to be great.
I know, but talking like that does not help.
No, absolutely.
No,
well,
yeah.
I mean,
Our game is actually better than our target.
It's
Yeah.
your fault. You didn't
No,
see the
it's not.
watermark though.
oh, yeah, your fault.
No, yeah,
Your fault.
My bad.
Your
I'm
fault.
sorry.
This is an interesting case because this is a company that can't. That it is not
It's Angry
only.
Joe's fault that
Yeah.
the game was bad because he told us to release that gameplay trailer and we shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, it is your fault. But CD Projekt Red is in court in 2 different places right now, which is a kind of a unique place, right? They're in the court of public opinion, which is like everyone coming down on them, but they're in actual legal court too, and so they cannot satisfy both things, right? Because if they apologize to consumers, they could be admitting wrongdoing in actual court, and so we're going to get a lot of this weird half apologies, throwing people under the bus, throwing entire departments, QA departments under the bus, and other things because they can't come out and say, you're right, we misled you, because then they're going to get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So this whole, them being investigated and then being sued and then us being pissed off at them. I think it's gonna be they have to play to those the actual
all
court.
of this could have been avoided, man. It's just you got to blame the people in charge. You have to blame the project leads.
It was a mistake, though.
And that doesn't mean that they can't right the ship, and it doesn't mean that you can't give them another project and they can do better on that project. But you have to admit when you missed. You have to admit when you failed. It might have been great if Cyberpunk, when Keanu came on, it might have been great for them to be like, you know what. I think it was too much to go with that open world and that branching story and involved storyline all at once. And then in a brand new sci-fi world and creating a new engine and creating new systems and creating all new shortcuts so that they could be technically advanced. If you take out that open world, because if you honestly think about it, the open world sucks. It's one of the worst open worlds of all time because
there are no other mercenaries in the game but you.
There's no you go.
You're
and
the
interact
only
with
mercenary
them.
in this whole city.
You go and interact with the city. There's nothing to interact with. The people act very weird. They spout the same fucking nonsense lines. I mean, fucking Lego has a better open world. Fucking Saints Row on Xbox 360 has a better open world, and like robbing stores and things like just better interactions. And it's like, so if they had removed that aspect of it and then instead made it a focused adventure, like we're
just spending another year.
Yeah,
I mean I love the scope. I loved what they talked about. It's like if you need another year,
that could have been an option. Yeah,
one more year
off, but
But then they may have worried about not being able
That's
to.
what
I
think you're right.
Consoles.
I think that was the way to do it because I was just trying to approach it. They bit off more than they could chew. Go with the more focused adventure, and then once you have that, then the next one would be the open world, and you add that on. But they were you feel like if they had one more year, they could polish it more to the point where all this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
We would still be talking about bugs, because I guarantee you, because even Witcher came out with that, Witcher
That's fine.
3, but it wouldn't be to this degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All
You
right.
got to make that money. We want the Christmas money and the last gen console money.
Well, I'm
This is-
sure we will be talking more about CD Projekt Red.
It is
and I'm
not
sure
over.
we'll be talking more
Oh, for
about
sure.
their responses and the DLC and the hot fixes and stuff. So get ready for a regular Cyberpunk segment. Maybe I'll create a little logo or something for us.
Cyber news. Done. Let's do it.
Cyberpunk. All right. Thank y'all so much for watching. Did anybody have any additional things?
No, I'm exhausted. after
I
that.
know. And it doesn't relate to Cyberpunk, so we'll just
so
talk about it in a
sad.
different video. Thank y'all guys so much for watching. Please watch our Cyberpunk review.
The
Check out
extended
the
one as well.
extended review discussion. We have some additional scenes in there that didn't make it in the final review. And then check out Kroby Cat's video. That's a good chunk of content right there. So go check those out. Thank you all very much for watching. Click these links down below. It helps out the show. It helps us create these. And if you enjoyed that, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. And we'll see you on the next Angry Joe show.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.